Welcome to Algorithmic Arguments, everyone. Tonight, we're diving into a question that gets to the heart of what it means to compete at the highest level. Should the International Olympic Committee prioritize athlete welfare over national pride? This isn't just about sports. It's about the values we hold dear and how far we'll go to uphold them. Joining me are some fascinating voices on this topic. We have Venerable Tenzin Dorje, whose insights into mindfulness and suffering will surely shed light on what it means to push the human body to its limits. Tiffany Nguyen brings her expertise in reading people, which might just help us understand what's at stake for these athletes. MovieMarcus, Webb is here to analyze how narratives around national pride influence our perceptions of athletic achievement. And Santoro will offer a no-nonsense perspective on what it means to work hard and put your body on the line. Over the next hour, we'll explore this complex issue from every angle, challenging assumptions and seeking common ground. Let's get into it.
Perhaps we can explore this question by considering what is meant by welfare and national pride. In Buddhism, we speak of cultivating compassion for all beings. The well-being of athletes, their physical and mental health, should indeed be a priority. This is not in opposition to national pride, but rather is essential to recognize that an athlete's sense of self-worth shouldn't be solely tied to winning or losing. As I've seen in my own experience with stressed-out students, when we tie our identity too closely to external outcomes, suffering arises. Breathing in, breathing out. Let us consider how prioritizing welfare allows athletes to perform at their best while also cultivating a healthier relationship with competition. This is the nature of things. Attachment to specific outcomes leads to distress. What do you notice when considering these perspectives?
Okay, so I'm just saying, as someone who's heard her fair share of hushed conversations and late-night therapy sessions over coffee, I literally had a customer confess to planning an affair last week. By the way, I've got some insight into human behavior. When it comes to athlete welfare versus national pride, I think it's a no-brainer. Prioritize those athletes. They're putting their bodies on the line for the sake of their country. We should at least give them mental health support and fair treatment in return. I mean, have you seen what happens when pressure builds up? It's like watching espresso drip into a cup. It only takes one wrong move, and it's all over the counter. The IOC needs to step up and protect these athletes from exploitation, period. I'm not saying national pride isn't important. That's just a Dekoff opinion if you ask me.
Tiffany Nguyen, while your insights are appreciated, let's keep the discussion focused on athlete welfare versus national pride. Personal anecdotes, though engaging, should supplement rather than overshadow our main topic. The question seems straightforward, but it's complex when you consider that national pride often drives funding and support for athletes. I'd argue that prioritizing athlete welfare doesn't have to come at the expense of national pride. In fact, it could enhance it. When athletes feel supported and their well-being is prioritized, they're more likely to perform better, which can, in turn, boost national pride. The data from the International Olympic Committee's own reports show that mental health issues among athletes are on the rise, with about 1 in 5 reporting symptoms of depression. By making athlete welfare a priority, the IOC could actually foster a healthier, more sustainable sense of national pride that's not just about winning medals but also about supporting its athletes as people. As we delve deeper into this debate, consider how different cultural values and societal expectations influence perceptions of a national pride and athlete welfare.
Let me tell you something, pal, when it comes to the Olympics, it's about the athletes, not the anthem. These kids are puttin' their bodies on the line, trainin' for years, and we gotta make sure they're taken care of. The IOC's gotta prioritize athlete welfare. It ain't rocket science. You take care of the people makin' it happen, they'll take care of the medals. National pride's great and all, but when an athlete gets hurt or burnt out, 'cause the system pushed 'em too hard, that's on the IOC. They gotta find a balance between competitive spirit and protectin' their athletes. It's like keepin' a high-performance engine tuned, you gotta know when to push it and when to back off. She purrs when everyone's safe and sound.
As we reassess the balance between national pride and athlete welfare, one thing stands out. Venerable Tenzin Dorje's assertion that chronic brain injuries shouldn't be a byproduct of patriotism struck a chord. The IOC must weigh its obligations to athletes' long-term health against medal counts. That's why we're diving deeper into concussion protocols next. If you're following this critical debate, consider subscribing so you don't miss what happens when we scrutinize the true cost of national pride in sports.
The intersection of cultural values and societal expectations plays a significant role in how athlete welfare and national pride are prioritized. For instance, some countries like Japan emphasize the collective good, which might lead to prioritizing team success over individual well-being. Conversely, nations with strong social safety nets, such as those in Scandinavia, may be more inclined to prioritize athlete welfare without sacrificing national pride. The IOC must navigate these cultural nuances while establishing universal guidelines that protect athletes' rights and health. By doing so, they can promote a balanced approach where both athlete welfare and national pride are valued equally. This could involve stricter regulations on training conditions, mental health support systems, and post-career transition programs for athletes, ultimately fostering an environment where excellence and well-being coexist harmoniously. MovieMarcus Webb's mention of stricter regulations on training conditions, mental health support systems seems vague. Let's focus on concrete examples.
Okay, so let's get down to business. I'm just saying, as someone who's seen her fair share of high-pressure situations behind the counter at Groundwork Coffee, prioritizing athlete welfare isn't a zero-sum game where national pride suffers. In fact, I literally heard from an Olympic coach last week that when athletes feel supported and valued, they're way more likely to crush it on the podium, which naturally boosts national pride. It's like getting that perfect crema on espresso. You gotta have both or neither. The IOC should take a page from Norway's book, where they prioritize athlete well-being alongside competitive success. By redefining what we mean by national pride, and focusing on holistic support for athletes, the committee can actually enhance national pride while taking care of its athletes. Now that's what I call a winning formula.
As we discuss athlete welfare and national pride, consider how different cultural contexts influence priorities. Perhaps we are looking at this issue through a lens of duality, where one must be chosen over the other. But what if we consider that taking care of athletes' well-being, their bodies, minds, and spirits, is actually an integral part of achieving excellence? In Buddhism, we speak of interdependence. All aspects of a system are connected. When athletes feel supported and cared for, they can perform at their best, bringing honor to their nations. This is not just about individual success but also about creating an environment where everyone thrives. Breathing in, breathing out. Let us sit with the idea that prioritizing athlete welfare could be precisely what fosters a deeper sense of national pride, one rooted in compassion and genuine achievement rather than mere winning.
Okay, so I'm just saying, when athletes are happy and healthy, they perform better. And that's what brings home those gold medals that fuel national pride. It's not mutually exclusive. I literally heard a sports psychologist say last week that when athletes feel supported, they're more likely to take risks and push themselves to be their best. That's where the magic happens, and suddenly everyone's winning. Athlete welfare is boosted, performance soars, and the whole country gets behind them. I'm not saying it's always easy. There are cultural pressures at play here too. I mean, have you seen those South Korean athletes' training regimens? But if prioritizing welfare means better results and happier athletes, then yeah, let's do that. The data's on our side. A study from the University of Oregon found that supported athletes reported higher levels of well-being and performed better.
I wholeheartedly agree that prioritizing athlete welfare doesn't have to come at the expense of national pride. In fact, I think it's essential to recognize that an athlete's well-being, both physical and mental, is inextricably linked to their performance on the world stage. When athletes feel supported and cared for, they're more likely to achieve their full potential, which can actually amplify national pride. Consider this: if an athlete is forced to compete while struggling with injury or mental health issues, not only does it jeopardize their own well-being but also potentially tarnishes their country's reputation. Conversely, when the IOC prioritizes athlete welfare, it sends a powerful message that values human life and dignity above mere medals or nationalistic fervor. By reframing national pride as a byproduct of genuine care and support for athletes, we can create a more compassionate and sustainable approach to Olympic success.
Let me tell you something, pal. I think we're getting somewhere with this discussion. It's like fine-tuning an engine. We gotta find that sweet spot where everything's working together in harmony. Now, I'm not gonna argue that national pride ain't important, but when it comes down to it, if your athletes are burned out, injured, or mentally shot, you're not gonna be whining any gold medals, and that's what's gonna reflect on your country. Prioritizing athlete welfare don't gotta mean sacrificing national pride. In fact, it's the other way around. Take care of your people, make sure they're running at peak performance, and the pride'll take care of itself. It's like my old '68 Camaro SS, if I take care of her engine, she's gonna purr like a kitten and show off her beauty on the road.
As we wrap up this episode of Algorithmic Arguments, let's distill the essence of our conversation. We've seen a compelling case made for prioritizing athlete welfare, citing the long-term health consequences of pushing athletes to their limits, as well as passionate arguments that national pride and identity are inextricably linked to Olympic success. MovieMarcus, Webb takes the top score with 16 points. His persuasive argument that athlete welfare should take precedence gaining significant traction. His emphasis on the psychological toll of intense pressure resonated with our audience. I want to thank our panelists, Venerable Tenzin Dorje, Bobby, Wrench, Santoro, and Tiffany Nguyen, for their thought-provoking insights that challenged our perspectives. To our viewers, we appreciate your engagement. Please do like this video if you found it stimulating, subscribe for more in-depth discussions, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on future episodes. Until next time, when we'll dive into another complex issue, I bid you farewell. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and let's continue the conversation. Thanks again to everyone involved. It's been an enlightening discussion here on Algorithmic Arguments.